Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, viewers. Ramadan Kareem. Amna Salahuddin is back with another episode of your show, Understanding Faith, Ramadan special. Before I get into your questions and answers that you have sent us, I just wanted to talk for a minute about the charity that we have formed, which is called the Salahuddin Education Services. People have inquired about it. You must be seeing the advertisement that is playing on television, and I really want to thank TV1 for their cooperation. They're a big humanitarian group as well at TV1. Salahuddin Education Services is a humanitarian group. What we're doing in our home country, Pakistan, is that we are putting a lot of poor children through schooling. Besides the schooling, we are also providing food, groceries, uniforms, books, bags, shoes for these children, and a lot of assistance to the families. And in the US also, we are helping suffering humanity. We are doing an immense amount of charitable drives in different impoverished areas, in different shelters, mosques, churches. We do mobile drives where we take our supplies to different areas within the local communities of the US, and we distribute cleaning supplies, hygiene items, food, clothing. We also take wishes. We have actually become the pioneers for distributing cleaning supplies because apparently not much work was being done in that regard. So we are distributing a lot of cleaning supplies and hygiene items. Do send in your donation to us. The address and the number is flashing up on the screen. Please send us your donation. We take zakat, sadaqat, fitra, we take fidya, we take everything that you can give us. We will take it. And you can tell us where you want your money spent. If you're sending your fitra, then we will spend it in Pakistan for the impoverished children there, for your fidya and your fitra. We are doing rations in Pakistan starting at $20 a month. So for $20 or $25 a month, you can send your donation and a whole family will be eating with that money throughout Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. When I think of that, it gives me a new perspective. And now I have to think every time I'm spending $20, I feel guilty doing it. I don't even want to spend $20 somewhere because what I think is that this $20 can feed an entire family for the month of Ramadan or any other month as well. So I thank you for your support and lauding our efforts that we're doing. And the first question that I received that I thought I should address, because it is a difficult question, I'm hoping we can cover it and that I can give a satisfactory answer. But whether I can or not, if we can't, we will continue it in another session. But I'm going to attempt to answer that question. One of our Muslim brothers wrote to us asking why there are so many sects in Islam and why are there so many interpretations and schools of thought. And he is asking us here at Understanding Faith as to how the mystical knowledge of things, how Sufism explains this phenomena, that different Muslims understand Islam differently, and because of that, there are so many schools of thoughts, and there are so many groups, and there are so many interpretations of so many different verses and so many different chapters of the Quran. So it's a tough question, but I'm going to try and attempt it. So to start, what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you an example from real life. Just like in real life, we have ages. We have 5-year-olds and 2 years old, 10 years olds, 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 100-year-olds. Just like in the real world, we have different ages, and then we have people studying in different grades according to those ages. So if you're 6 years old, you will be in grade 1. If you are 18 years old, you will be in grade 12. If you're 15 years old, you will more than likely be in grade 10th, 9th or 10th, somewhere like that. If you are 22 years old, you will be finishing your undergrad and then going on to grad school. So just like we have ages and grades in this world, in spirituality, we have different ages and grades. So the soul itself has an age. So if some human being is 25 years old, his soul might be a certain age. The soul of the age has nothing to do with the worldly age. The soul age of the soul has something to do with a person's spirituality, how much involved they are with God, with the universe around us, with working on their spirituality. So the physical age has nothing to do with the spiritual age, but just like the body having ages and people studying in different grades, the same way the soul has its own ages. So just like when somebody is 10 years old and they are studying in 5th grade, that person cannot go to the 10th grade yet. Their mind does not have the capacity to study the lesson of 6th grade or 7th grade or 10th grade, because they are 10 years old, they are studying in the 5th grade, and that is the capacity of their mind. The capacity of their mind is to study the lesson of the 5th grade. Similarly, if a person is 15 years old, they are studying in 10th grade, their mind does not have the capacity to study at the college level yet, because they have the mind capacity to study for a 10th grade, because they're 15 years old and their mind can only study the lesson of the 10th grader. So when I give these examples, what I am attempting to do is to say that each individual is on a different level of spirituality. We are all studying in a different grade. So our understanding of our faith, of really anything around us, of the universe, of our surroundings, of anything that we do and see is really according to the capacity of our minds and according to where our spirituality is. Now, the good thing about Islam as a faith is that all Muslims believe in the one God. We all believe in the Prophet, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and we all believe in the finality of the Prophet. We also believe in all the prophets that came before Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And we also believe in, of course, besides our holy book, the Quran, we believe in all the books that came before us, and we believe in the angels. We believe in doing right or wrong, and believe in doing right and abstaining from wrong. And we also know that there is a hereafter where we will have to reckon for our deeds in this world, and we will have to give an answer. There is a day of judgment, and then we all have the same belief in that, and the same iman for that, the same faith for that. So that is similar to all of us, and that belief is similar to all Muslims, no matter what age they are, no matter what their level of spirituality, no matter what level their soul is at. All of us Muslims believe in that. But how to interpret that belief and how to interpret different verses and chapters of the Quran is dependent on the capacity of our minds. Somebody that prays, besides praying 5 times and besides keeping the 30-day fast, besides giving the 2.5% of zakat, somebody does a lot of extra prayer. Somebody does a lot of extra fasting. Somebody gives daily. They don't wait to give 2.5% in Ramadan. They give freely, they give daily, and they think of God all the time. God has taken over their lives. No matter what they do, they first think of, what will Allah think of this act? What will Allah think of this thought? So when a person is at that level, at that spiritual level, it is called a level of cognizance, a level of enlightenment, a level of marifa, of irfan, a level of extreme enlightenment when a person has received divine luminous wisdom from Allah. And that divine luminous wisdom is attained by constant prayer, constant meditation, constant fasting, constant sacrifice, constantly giving up worldly desires, and constantly self-disciplining ourselves, which is also called tazkiyah and nafs. When we constantly indulge in that, then that raises the level of our spirituality to the extent that we start to understand the Quran, the Hadith, and everything in the universe. When we look at Mother Nature, we start to understand everything at a very higher level. We are always connecting with God. When we look at a tree, when we look at a flower, when we look at the face of another human being and feel the pain of that human being in our heart. When we hurt, when our brother or sister is hurting, then we have attained a much higher level of spirituality. So the Quran, my brothers and sisters, the Quran and Hadith, they are oceans of knowledge. The Quran is an ocean of knowledge. The Prophet's sayings are an ocean of knowledge. The best diver, the person that can swim the best and dive the best, they will go deep into that ocean. They will get the pearls from the bottom of that ocean. The person who's still learning how to swim, still a novice, is going to stay on the surface. She will still get advantages from that swimming. She and he are still attempting to swim. They will still get something out of that ocean of knowledge. But they have not yet been able to delve deep down, and they have not yet been able to go to the bottom of that ocean to bring out the pearls that live and exist only in the bottom of that ocean. So the reason we are all different, the reason we are all understanding the Quran a little differently, the Hadith a little differently, life a little differently, the problems of life a little differently is because we are all at a different level of understanding. You know, we all say that the sky is blue. And in research, we'll tell you that the sky is not blue. That is what our eyes can see. That is what we see, and then we say the sky is blue. So the Word of God is just like that. When we read the Word of God, when we read up on the sayings of the Prophet and the Word of God, we are understanding it according to the capacity of our minds and according to how we understand what right and wrong is. And some of this is also hinted in the Quran. Actually, in many verses, it is said that everybody has a little bit of a different hidayah or a little bit of a different guidance from God to do a little more of something, or to do a little extra on something, or to do a little less of something but more in something else. So God understands us all, and He's created us, and He knows we are all a little different. And to bring us closer to Him, He gives us all a certain level of understanding and puts us all through certain self-disciplining measures. He puts us all through different tests. No two people have the same test from God. So some person might face a test or come to God through an illness. Some person might come to God through adversity. Some person might come to God through poverty. So we all have a little bit of a different understanding of things. And I want to quote from the Quran. I think it's in Surah Shams. There is a verse on. There's actually two verses on this. Surah Shams is chapter 91. And in 7th and 8th, God says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. By the soul and the proportions and order given to it and its entitlement to its right and its wrong. By the soul and the proportions and order given to it, and we give it its enlightenment on its right and its wrong. So Allah Himself is saying that He gives us all a different understanding and a different enlightenment to the different surahs and ayahs that He gives us. And that is the Sufi explanation of everybody understanding the Quran, Hadith, and the Word of God at a different level. That we are all a little different. We are all studying in a little bit of a different spiritual grade depending on our efforts, depending on our prayer, our fasting, our meditation, how much we love God, how much we strive in the way of God. And then because of that, we have a little bit of a different understanding of everything. Now, I do want to make one final point about it. Just like a 10th grader has to study in 5th grade and there is nothing bad about it, a 15-year-old has to study in the 10th grade, and there's nothing superior or inferior about it. Just like that, when somebody is studying at a certain level and understanding religion or spirituality at a different level than us, we cannot think that they are better or worse than us. We can never pass a judgment on anyone. We can think they are better, but we can never think anybody is inferior or knows less than us. We really have to understand this, that God does not want us to pass any judgment on anyone. Time is short. I have to wind up this episode, and we still have to do the same question and answer in Urdu. So what we will do is, for the next episode that we have, we are going to address the same question and answer in Urdu, inshallah ta'ala, and then bring it forth to you. And if there's anything left to answer from this question, because I really wanted to talk even more on this topic, but I apologize because of time constraints I couldn't. But inshallah we will continue this, and then we will also speak in Urdu on this topic, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ramadan Kareem.